Hello friends, Kishan is here again and welcome you in this video tutorial. This is the continuation of my previous video tutorial. There we had created a hello world. Sorry guys, name of the project I have given hello world a Spring Boot, but I was supposed to give hello world a Spring Boot. So here we can rename this project hello world a Spring Boot. Let's rename it. So I have given the project name as hello world Spring Boot, and this is the project we had created in the earlier video tutorial. So now we had created a class is called hello world Spring Boot app, and this class we had annotated with @Spring Boot application, and and that way we have marked this class as a Spring Boot strapping class. So this is the one of the first class. From there Spring Boot kicks up, basically starts up, right? And here we have used a utility method is called run, and there we are passing this utility class name. Sorry, this is bootstrap class name, and this is the command line argument. And when we had created a hello world controller, right? So this is our REST controller, and we have one of the method is called hello, and this method is basically returning hello world message, and URL pattern of this message is slash. So when we hit the base URL of this application, then we get the hello world on the browser as a response, right? So basically we are just exposing this RESTful resource with this URL pattern to the external world, right? And it's a pretty straightforward example. So let me run this project again, and here you can see a Spring Boot logo you can see, and this is the version, a Spring Boot version, which we have specified in our pom.xml, right? In parent dependency, right? Here you can see we had specified this version in the pom.xml in the parent tag, right? So here parent tag telling that our project is the child of this project, right? And we had added dependency. One of the dependency is called a Spring Boot starter wave. So basically when you add this dependency, then a Spring framework basically what does a Spring framework basically a Spring Boot basically loads the all dependency required for to create a standard web based application. So if you go to the Maven dependency, then you can see here you can see a lot of dependencies which because of this dependency what we have added, Spring Boot is just downloaded from the central repository and that added in your project class path. So here you can see all dependency, and here you can see you have a embedded Tomcat. So there are 3 jars for embedded Tomcat as well, right? And some of the validation related to Hibernate validator. So Spring Boot knows if you are creating web-based application and you are suppose you are interested to use some kind of validation. That's why Spring Boot has added some jars related to the Spring validators, right? And Spring has also external dependency on the something is called common logger. So you can get common loggers somewhere as well. So you can search for common logger. So here okay, so Spring framework Spring Boot basically by default uses logback as a logging framework. So logback related jars, you can see there are 2 logback related jars are there. There is also a SLF4J related jars, but if you use a Spring framework, right, instead of a Spring Boot, then a Spring framework has external dependency on common loggers. But in the case of a Spring Boot, you have a callback as the default logging framework, but you can override as a SLF4J as well, right? Here you can see Spring core is also downloaded, added in a class path, and there are a lot of, these are the jars which is really required for the validator if you want to validate your jars. And here Spring has also added a Jackson data bind, right? So basically this jars basically helps you to if you want to send some kind of response in the JSON format, then this will helps you to convert Java object into JSON and JSON to Java conversion. So here you can see a Spring Wave is also added, a Spring AOP, a Spring Beans, Context, a Spring MVC, a Spring Expression Language related jars is automatically added when you add this dependency in your pom.xml. So that's all pretty much things. And good thing about Spring Boot is that when you add any, only you need to add the version of your parent, and Spring basically all compatible jars gets all compatible jars loaded from the central repository, and that adds in your Maven dependency directory, right? So when you work on the Spring MVC and you create a Maven based project, then you might add a lot of dependency in this dependencies tag, right? And you need to take care about the all compatible jars as well. Suppose if you are using a Spring, using a Spring version like 4.2 something, 4.2.0, then you need to find the compatible jar. If you want to use Spring 4, suppose Spring 4.0.0, then you need to find the compatible jar for Jackson, right? So this might not be the compatible with the Spring 4 or Spring 3. Then these things you as a developer you need to take care about. I mean, if you are using a string and if you are interested to convert, I mean, Java object into JSON and JSON to Java, then compatible Jackson jars you need to find the correct version and map with the Spring, right? Spring jars, right? So that's the thing as a developer you need to take care. But if you use a Spring Boot, then only you need to specify the parent release version, and rest of the things will be taken care by the Spring Boot itself. So that's all pretty much about the downloaded dependent jars, right? Now here if I run this application, then you can see you get the embedded Tomcat. You can see Tomcat gets started on the default port as saying that there is some problem to start, saying that address already bind. I think we have started Tomcat twice, that was already started and we have again started. So that's the reason we were getting this error. Now I have killed the server and I have started again, and you can see on console at this time Tomcat has started on default port 8080, right? So if I open the browser and I type http://localhost:8080, and if I press enter, then I was supposed to get, yes, we got the output hello world, right? This example already we have seen in the previous video, right? So now what I'm thinking, I want to change the Tomcat port number. Instead of 8080 default port, I want to override it with some other number with like 4 digit, like 9090. So here go to the src /main/resources, and here let's create a file. So let's search for the file, and here you need to rename this file application.properties. So this name is, you will have to specify application.properties, and here you can specify a lot of properties. One of the properties I would write over here, server.port, right? There are many more properties Spring Boot provides that we will see in the next future videos, but here I'm going to specify port number 9090. What I want when I run this application from this bootstrap class, then this application should run on the 9090 instead default port 8080. Now let's run this project. Now you can see now our Tomcat is running on the 9090. So if you go to the browser and here if you hit the 9090, then you will get the same output, right? So this way you can change the port of Tomcat. Now second thing, I want to generate a jar file. So packaging we have here, packaging what we had selected over here, version here we have given packaging here. Here we can specify the packaging as well, right? Packaging we can specify as a jar, jar, and I want to generate a jar file for this RESTful project. Then in that case you need to add one of the plugin, Maven plugin, in the build tag. So that I'm going to paste it over here. So you have a build tag inside the build plugins, and one of the plugin is called Maven Spring Boot Maven plugin. This plugin basically supports you to generate a executable jar or var files. So after adding this plugin, let's go to this project in this directory, and there we have a Maven pom.xml, right? So let's go to this location, and after going this location, here you have pom.xml, right? So let's type cmd, and here command prompt gets open, and here I will write mvn install. So this will generate the jars in your target directory. Right now if you go to the, so there is, I'm getting some error, sorry, a spelling mistake, mvn install, and right now there is nothing in the target directory. So let's now this packaging has started. So Eclipse and Maven is going to download a lot of things, and finally you'll get jar file will be generated in the target directory, right? So build is successful. Now go and refresh this project, and here go to the directory, target directory. Here you can see hello world jar has been created with some snapshot, right? Initial snapshot. So here I'll go to the cd target directory, and here you will have to write java -jar, and here I'm going to run this jar. Press enter, and see Maven logo over here, and now your project is getting deployed, right? So using this command prompt also we can run our application. And Tomcat port you can see 9090, and if I go over here and let's open a new tab, and http://localhost:9090/ if you press enter, then you get the response. And at this time we have ran our project using generated jars, which is available in the target folder. So that's all I wanted to cover in this video tutorial. This project and previous project I'm going to upload on the GitHub, and GitHub location I will specify in the video description, so that you can download and you can run this project as a Maven project on your local machine. So that's all I have in this video tutorial, guys. So in next video I'll come with some new things. So some new approach we'll see, using some other approach, how we can create a Spring Boot application. So till that, thanks for watching this video, and see you in next video tutorial.